welcome to another UCL Fantasy video. Now, this is going to be a preview of Match Day 4, but I'll also be doing an overview of Match Day 3 and talking about how that went, because I haven't really offered my thoughts on that thus far. But there's a big lesson that I want all of you to take away from today, and something which I've learned from making this mistake myself, and hopefully going forward I will not be doing it again, because I haven't actually done it before, and the one time that I do, it has cost me. So I'll be talking about all of that, but without further ado, this is how my team did for Match Day 3, and it was a wildcard team, so it was very disappointing. I got 57 points, and I was in a way unlucky, but there was a few mistakes which I'll have to highlight instantly that I regret myself. So getting the likes of João Felix, big mistake. I know he can do well in the home games and stuff like that, but just getting him in when there's other players like Jota, like Ferran Torres available, it's just the wrong call from me. So in that one, I wouldn't really call it unlucky. Then we have the likes of Renan Lodi, and I did say for my Match Day 3 preview that you should probably stay away from Atletico defenders, and I still expected better from Atletico than what they produced, and once again not getting the clean sheet, and they were a bit unlucky. I think VAR went against them, but yeah, Lodi just not the guy. And some of the people I got rid of in the wild card, like Thomas Meunier, just the wrong thing, because he ended up getting 10 points. And then in terms of other players that were available, I think I had Joshua Kimmich in my wildcard draft for Match Day 3, and I also had Joe Gomez. And those three defenders I mentioned, along with Thomas Meunier, they pretty much would have gotten me 20 to 30 more points than what I actually got in the end. So I think the defense was where it probably let me down the most, and I didn't stick to the plan. So that's one thing I've done wrong, apart from what I'm going to be discussing very soon. But yeah, I stuck to my wildcard draft pretty faithfully, but in terms of the defense, I made 2 or 3 big changes which just completely crumbled everything. And Sergio Roberto's another one. Like, I expected him to start and he didn't, and that really cost me. Just getting 1 point is very, very disappointing. There was nothing I could have done about that, obviously, apart from not getting him in the first place. So very disappointing in the defence overall. And as you can see, Koundé with -2. I mean, it's the lowest score that any player's ever gotten for me. He played 34 minutes because Jesus Navas got sent off. Koundé made way. He conceded the penalty. He got a yellow card, and he conceded 2 goals. So an absolute a disaster class from Koundé. Danilo was actually on a clean sheet, but in the end, it didn't go well. He conceded in the last minute pretty much, which is very disappointing. But I'd be expecting some clean sheets hopefully in the next 2 home games, and after that, against Barcelona. Even though Barcelona haven't been great, you wouldn't really expect too many points there from any Juventus defenders. But Mendy, one of the good things on the wild card, because both of my keepers weren't playing. Neto and Adrian both lost their spots because ter Stegen and Adrian are back. But Mendy, the best keeper probably to own from UCL Fantasy, and he did the job yet again, got 6 points, and hopefully he continues that in the next few games. But Sevilla away, that's going to be looking very, very tricky. Now, as for Pavard, another one who just very disappointing. Like, he produced in both of the first 2 games, and then, disaster class against Salzburg. And Bayern were struggling, to be honest. It's just at the end, they pretty much rectified things and just completely split open Salzburg. But it's just so disappointing for Pavard to get only 1 point. And then Kimmich, who actually got 9 points, he's actually injured now for how many months? And he was in my wildcard draft, so very disappointing all round in the defence. And then my backup goalkeeper conceded 6 goals at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is an absolute disgrace. And that's how I knew from the beginning that I was in store for a very bad week. But not much that needs to be said there. He's literally a backup keeper, but in hindsight, you know what? I'd rather have the extra 500,000 that I could have gotten from a 4 million keeper and invest it elsewhere, because just pretty useless at the moment. I think Mendy will just be playing all the games at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. And in terms of the midfield, Barrios is one of the best players in my whole team, really. And you know what? I'm pretty thankful that the Wednesday was better than the Tuesday, because on the Tuesday I had 8 players and the only player produced for me was Lewandowski. Everyone else, and I mean every single one of them, blanked. So that was really disappointing. But Barrios could have got 5 points again. He's just so reliable. He gets those ball recovery points. Not much more that needs to be said. Ansu Fati, well, it's very conflicting emotions for me, because he got an assist. He played well. He should have gotten more points as well against Dynamo Kiev. He should have gotten some goals. But guess what now? He's injured for 4 months, I think, or more. He's had a surgery, and he's out. So that's another player I need to get rid of. And Raheem Sterling, very disappointing, and he is a bit of an injury concern for the next game against Olympiacos. And the problem with UCL Fantasy, and I've said this from last season, is that the game takes a long time to update injuries and suspensions and stuff like that, and COVID cases. Compared to FPL, for example, who are pretty on point, or at least, they may take a few hours. UCL Fantasy can take days or weeks, really. So just you have to research all of these players that you have and just keep an eye on all of this stuff. But Sterling, I believe, will be fine, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not even that informed about his case, but I'm pretty sure he should be fine. And if not, he'll probably make match day 5. But either way, he's not in my team anymore, and I'll be discussing that later on. Casemiro, brought him in, didn't do the business, didn't get any goals or assists, which is not what you expect anyway, but didn't even get that many ball recovery points. He got a yellow card as well, so very disappointing from him. And like I said with Joao Felix, I regret getting the Atletico players instantly. Although I do think Lodi at home to Lokomotiv, you would expect a clean sheet. And if it wasn't for VAR, they could have gotten one away from home in match day 3. But yeah, Felix very disappointing. And the strikers, so apart from Traore, who was very disappointing, I just don't get this guy. Like, he doesn't play, he doesn't start against Midtjylland, and at the weekend in the Eredivisie he actually starts yet again. And I don't know, with the performances he's been doing, I mean, he scored in his last Champions League game and all of that. He just gets benched, but he is 5 million, you get what you pay for. But I just think if he does play, that home fixture against Midtjylland looks very, very promising. So we'll have to wait and see there, but I'm not looking to transfer him out anyway. I've got other fires to put out, as we'll be discussing. Haaland, very, very good. I considered captaining him, but in the end I just stuck on Lewandowski. I didn't want to tempt fate just in case, and they got the exact same number of points. Haaland is just so reliable, and they're two of the best assets you can own in the whole game. So yeah, very happy with this guy. And then Lewandowski, my best captaincy so far this season in Champions League Fantasy, but my overall team was very poor because apart from these two strikers and Fati, everyone else pretty much blanked except my keeper maybe and Barrios. But I mean, I got -2 from some players, late goals conceded, and then some players getting benched and stuff like that. So very, very disappointing overall. And now, what is it looking like for match day 4 or game week 4? Well, very mixed bag if we're being honest, because the fixtures look great. And as you can see here, there's quite a few changes. I already made the free transfers. I made them early for the first time. Well, why did I do that? Well, that's a good question. Why did I do that? I honestly don't have the answer. I just did them early because I wanted these players in. I thought, you know what? I didn't have a Liverpool player on, any Liverpool player on the wild card, and I wanted to rectify that mistake. And I think having 2 to 3 is a feasible option. But guess what? Salah, he's going to miss the next game probably. He tested positive again for COVID-19, so he's out. And then we have Joe Gomez. He gets a serious injury during the international break. He's out as well. And Casemiro actually has COVID, which is something I didn't know, but he should be fine for the next game. So that's a bit of good news at least. But on the whole as well, Lodi, I think, suffered concussion in the qualifier against Venezuela. He should be fine though. But on the whole, I mean, I've got so many fires to put out. There's Ansu Fati, who, like I said, he's got the 4-month surgery or whatever it is, or 4-month recovery period. He already had his surgery, but it's just so disappointing to have these big injuries and stuff. And I've already made my free transfers. So the main lesson for myself and for all of you really is to, especially in UCL Fantasy, where the price rises happen as soon as the match day starts, just don't make early transfers. Wait until the end, and I'll be making some transfers. In terms of my team, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, the fixtures look good on the whole. Mendy away to Rennes, I'd hope for something good there. You look at the defense, some home fixtures for most of my players, and Koundé's there away to Krasnodar. Hopefully he does well as well, because last time was just so poor. And it's already kind of at least organised in terms of all the Tuesday players are in the starting 11. So I'm not sure at the moment, to be honest. In terms of the players I need to replace, you see those on the bench, those 3. Mohamed Salah, I'll probably be replacing him with Kevin De Bruyne, and if not, maybe Sadio Mane, but it's not an ideal situation. Salah's someone who I wanted for pretty much the whole Champions League campaign since bringing him in, and he's out of the water really, at least for this game week. And Joe Gomez, another one who gets the ball recovery points, he even got an assist against Atalanta, but it's not looking good at the moment. And to be honest, got to replace him, and I'm going to look back to Thomas Meunier, who I got rid of on the wildcard anyway. So some bad decisions made by me, a bit of misfortune, but when both of them combine, you just get this result. And Ansu Fati, the replacement for him, probably it will be Ferran Torres, who scored a hat-trick against Germany in their 6-0 win. And even just before that, he's one of the top players in the Champions League so far. He's been scoring every single game, and I think he's a perfect replacement for Ansu Fati. And another one, of course, who I've already gotten in is Diego Jota. So yeah, some big hits being taken this week probably, but you know what? It serves as a good lesson to, making early transfers, especially on UCL Fantasy when there really is no need to do that. But that's how it is. In terms of the captaincy, I'm going to keep it straightforward. Haaland's going to be my captain on the Tuesday, and I don't think I'm going to be changing that. I don't want to tempt fate too much. And I already singled him out weeks ago. I said that matchday 4 fixture against Club Brugge looks very, very good. And he already got 10 points in the away fixture. Could get even more in the home fixture. So we'll have to wait and see there. And in terms of the Wednesday match, I'll probably just be going with Lewandowski if Haaland doesn't produce the goods. But we'll have to wait and see. I do think that Haaland will do well. But if he gets something like 6 points or maybe 8 points, I could still, shift the captaincy to Lewandowski. But we'll have to wait and see. Salah was actually one of my alternative captains, but guess what? He's probably not going to play now. And with the players that I'm going to get in, I don't think I'll be captaining any of them. So De Bruyne, most likely, Thomas Meunier, and Ferran Torres. But yeah, some tough decisions to be made. I may end up only taking a -4, or maybe just leaving things as they are and then just rectifying stuff afterwards. But Renan Lodi, who plays Bayern Munich in matchday 5, he's another one I want to get rid of. Apart from that, I do like my team overall, but I did make some mistakes, especially on the wild card, and I made even more mistakes by trying to rectify those mistakes, and I've ended up in a vicious cycle. But let me know how your teams are looking down in the comment section below, and what suggestions do you have for my team? Would you take a -4, would you take a -8 or a -12 and rectify these mistakes? I mean, it's already done. You can't do anything about the transfers you get in, and they're pretty much finalized. You can't revert them. And if you enjoy this video, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. We're aiming for 2K subscribers, which is, incredible growth. And I'm very, very thankful for everyone who's been subscribing and liking the content and sharing with your friends and family. But yeah, good luck with matchday 4. There's still quite a long way to go until then, a few days. And like I said, do your transfers Monday night or Tuesday, basically on the match day, because anything can happen from this period, especially with the games going on during the weekend. And there's still a few more international games being played. But it's just definitely is a lot of things to consider this season, especially with COVID. So do not make early transfers, both in FPL and in UCL Fantasy. And remember, the price changes will happen as soon as matchday 4 begins. It's been happening for the last 2 game weeks now. But thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time.